Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar brought to you in partnership with KellyOCG. My name is Cath Longfield and I'm Head of Marketing for the Business Culture Awards and Events. As well as recognising exceptional initiatives, we also think it's really important to create a community of sharing so that as many organisations as possible can learn from these different approaches. The awards were created to give organisations a way to celebrate work that sets their employees up to succeed. We're already into year 4 and we've seen amazing examples of companies increasing pride, purpose, inclusion, learning and so much more, and you can see the celebration of this here. So joining us today is Michael Britt from Southern Company, one of this year's award winners. Hello, Michael. Could you tell everyone a little about yourself?
My name is Michael Britt. I'm the Vice President of the Energy and Innovation Center at Southern Company.
And we're also joined by Sam Smith from KellyOCG, who are lead partner to the Business Culture Awards. Welcome, Sam, and could you tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Hi, Kath. I'm the VP and Global Practice Lead here at KellyOCG, looking after our life sciences and healthcare practice.
So over the next 30 minutes, Michael and Sam will share how to build a culture of innovation by listening to and involving our people and ensuring that we can deliver a great customer and employee experience into the future. If you've got any comments or questions as we go along, we'd love to hear them. Please type them in and we'll cover them at the end of each presentation. So I'm delighted to hand over to Michael to present Southern Company's award-winning innovation journey. Michael.
Southern Company is one of the largest utilities in North America. We serve gas and electric customers across the United States. Kath, if we can get the next slide, please. We're going to share a bit about our innovation journey and really the way that we've been evolving our business. We were a strictly electric company just a few years ago and have really become one of the largest gas providers in North America, as well as owner pipelines and so forth. So part of our innovation journey is also about positioning our company. But at the heart of it, it's about our customers making their lives better. So if we can go to the next slide, please. We have a long-standing legacy of innovation, and just one unique thing: we have the largest R&D organization in the U.S. utility industry, outside of the shared organization EPRI. In fact, we're the largest funder of EPRI, which is the Electric Power Research Institute. We also have a very large R&D organization, which means we do a lot. We grew out of a employee idea during something called SoPride. So the utility industry, as you can imagine, the world of the monopoly utility provider, that's not long for the world. And so what role will we play in the energy value chain, and how should we position our company to not just survive but thrive in that future, was really the challenge put in front of our employees. If you think about a power company, a very small number of people are actually in front of computers. Most people are in power plants or in trucks and in the field making sure we deliver power reliably and so forth. So our challenge was, how do we engage employees who are not part of that? We really expected a small percentage, maybe 10% of our employee base to engage. We were thrilled. Over 42% of our employee base participated in SoPride. So many great ideas. There were 127 ideas that went back into the business and were executed by our company, including 6 winning ideas that became either major initiatives within our research and development area or something the Innovation Center was created to essentially commercialize. Later, we also ran an enterprise-wide initiative called So Safe. Now, this was just focused on safety. I don't want to say just, because safety is a critical component of our operations, but because it was very focused, we expected smaller participation. Again, we were surprised and thrilled when more than half of our company participated in So Safe and generated many great safety ideas and initiatives, including a few safety products. So we really were amazed at how much our employees wanted to participate and engage. There's a couple keys to it. One was we had buy-in from the top, a lot of communication from our CEO. He was briefing the board on a regular basis. And then the winners got to share their vision with the board of directors, with the senior-most part of the company's management council. Many of these folks might never get in front of that kind of an audience. So it was really a terrific opportunity. With this little picture here of the hands holding, something growing new. These new ideas are things that we nurture and develop, but the source of ideas is not intended to be the innovation center. It's actually intended to be the employee base. Through these challenges and ideation platforms, we've been able to engage our employees in ways that we never would have anticipated. Next slide, please. So, using design thinking and other methodology, we work closely with our operating companies and partners to create these challenges. One of the interesting things we found is the way that the human brain works. It is best, the human brain is set up to solve problems with constraints. If you throw out an open-ended question, how do we save money? How do we make money? It's too broad. The brain can't process it, and you get very poor results, poorly thought through things. But if you provide constraints, such as, how do we grow with minimal capital investment that help people in rural areas of our service territory, that then creates the ability for the brain to tackle the problem in a new way and to begin to think creatively. If it's too broad, how do we help our customers? It doesn't work. We found a number of things, but that's one that's really powerful. So making sure your challenge question is really good and is targeted with constraints, because if the idea comes forward and it doesn't meet these hurdles, it's going to be rejected anyway. So make sure your constraints and hurdles are in the challenge question. Next slide, please. When customers are able to see the product and give you feedback, using lean methodology, you iterate on that product and create something better for your customer. Our business model is beginning to integrate design thinking and methodology into how we engage with our customer and also how we solve and tackle big problems. So that's really been a challenge, and we've been excited to be part of that evolution within Southern Company. Next slide, please. So that's what I wanted to share. I know you've had an opportunity perhaps to provide some questions through the chat function or elsewhere, but I'd love to answer anything I can, either here or later if you'd like to engage.
Many thanks, Michael. That was a really fascinating insight into how you've engaged people. And also, because I know how much work's gone into this, congratulations for boiling down all of this into such a short window. So we've got a couple of minutes for questions, and I've got the first one coming through here. Have you seen an impact on engagement from listening to your employees and advancing their ideas, and have you tracked that?
Yes, great question. And we wish that we had done a better benchmark. We use as part of our engagement survey with our employees questions about innovation and their perception of the company as an innovative company, and that has definitely moved on the dial significantly. But we started it after we had done SoPrize, after we had done quite a bit of engagement with the employee base. So it's been improving, but I really wish we had done the benchmark, that we had the foresight to ask the question before we began all the enterprise-wide work to engage the employee base. But definite movement there. And you see it every day in people solving problems and engaging with the Innovation Center, seeking support for their next challenges.
Really interesting. And just the final one as well before we move on to Sam. Has this culture of innovation given Southern Company a more defined identity as a business?
Definitely. It's one of those things where when you see the company pushing the envelope, creating new solutions for customers, there's a certain amount of pride that employees feel, and also with respect to the creativity, then if they see the ideas actually coming to fruition, that they don't just fall into a black hole. We respect every idea. That's been at the heart of this from day one. Every idea that comes to us, we've received 3,000 ideas in the last 3.5 years through these various challenges. Those ideas, every single one of them receives a disposition from the Innovation Center. We share with the employee their relatively how it performed and they're able to see it on our dashboards, how their idea performed in terms of pairwise voting and peer, really the peer evaluation of those ideas. The ideas that actually then move forward and begin to be executed, we patent some of those ideas, and we share, that person's name is on those patents, and we share the revenue going forward, even if they've left the company, with people who've developed new ideas for us, which is fairly unusual for at least a North American company to share in the intellectual property with the employee.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for Michael. And now I'm going to hand over to Sam, who's going to talk about how a strong cultural DNA is the foundation for innovation, and also where this sits in the context of our future workplaces.
Thank you, Cath. Thank you. I hope you can hear me well, and thank you, Michael. Really brilliant insights, and it's great to see an organisation such as Southern really enabling and mobilising your employees with the ideas and the fund. It's fantastic news. Go to the next slide, Cath, please. Obviously, there's a great picture of me. It has been photoshopped for anyone that's wondering. I'm in a really lucky position. I get to get insights and see behind the curtain of many, many organisations, and I see the real value of culture and see how talent is in demand, how skill shortages in the marketplace really put positions of power into candidates, whether they are in your candidate pool, whether they are in the process of becoming an employee of your business, and indeed your incumbent talent, your current employees. And increasingly we see them as looking to partner with businesses who not only offer them a financial or professional reward, but people that provide them with a sense of purpose. And organisations that really share their values and ethical guidelines attract some of the best candidates who are going to do the best work for them. And without a culture, they really don't feel that they have the connection that they need to do their best work. If you move away from my big face, then that would be great. We'll move on to the next slide. So what does that mean? Well, ultimately what that means is driving a sense of purpose. A vibrant and cohesive culture is not simply a desirable or a useful thing to do, and it has to not be buzzwords. It has to not be something that is designed around a table, but is something that's deeply at the heart of your success as a business. And it matters to the people that, I think I said in the video at the award ceremony last year, the people that get out of bed to do a day's work for you, and the people that make your organisation great. It really does matter to the talent that you want to attract. And if you look at some of the big news stories that we've all seen over the last couple of years, particularly around data and hacking and fake news, we've seen walkouts in organisations. We've seen some of the technology giants really suffering from an issue that has resulted in a shift in their culture as a business. So if the culture's right, it can absolutely be a game changer for you when it comes to both recruitment and retention, and creating a sense of purpose, innovation and cohesion at every level of your business really, really does make a difference. If you move on to the next slide, please. So what does that mean? It means that talent is in demand. It means that there is a skills shortage in the marketplace, and it does mean that we need skilled talent to really think differently about why they want to work for you as an organisation. Almost flipping the interview process on its head. It's not so much about whether you think they're the right fit for you, it's about whether the talent that you're looking to attract into your company understands your purpose, whether that purpose aligns or resonates with them as an individual and is aligned to their personal values. So for you to be able to tap into the demand pipeline of the best talent that's in the marketplace, you really do need to think about what is your purpose and value driver that is going to touch the market and going to enable you to engage talent, whether they be permanent employees, whether they be contingent or temporary employees or contractors or even consultants. It's critical. And if you think about that more mobile workforce, they're the carrier pigeons that are taking your message out into the market, and it's critical we look after them too and they get a sense of culture with how they are engaged with your organisation. So next time you're thinking, if you move to the next slide, Cath, please. Next time you're thinking about talent, start with who you are as an organisation. What does your cultural DNA mean? Is it merely a set of logos and inspirational statements on walls behind stock imagery, or does it mean something? Are you, for example, in my world, linked to patient outcomes, making people's lives better, connecting people to work in a way that enriches their lives? Rather than just being a paycheck, are people going to be connected to the DNA of your company? Make sure your values are clearly defined at every level of the organisation. It will transform how you attract and retain talent. And ultimately, if you go to the next slide, I'm going to encourage you, as I did in my short little video at the awards ceremony, to ditch the script. We are in a groove of repeating the same processes and getting the same things wrong, whether that be the onboarding journey, whether that be how we work with early talent, whether that be the assessment process. We're moving at such a speed to augmented AI in a way that is going to completely change the way that intelligence and humans work. We have to think faster about how we connect the best people with the best work in the best organisations around the world. And innovation creates a freedom for you to start from and stand out from the crowd rather. And that can really only be achieved from starting from a point of strong cultural foundation. So I encourage you, break the rules, discover what's next. You have to know who you are to begin with. And if you know who you are, then your DNA is going to be strong and it's going to come through not only within your existing organisations, but it will permeate through the ecosystem of your organisation, your supply chain, everybody that touches your brand. So ditch the script, be brave, be bold, break the rules, and look after that DNA, but also use it. It's a beating heart of your business, and we see a great opportunity for organisations that are invested in the culture of their business to be the step change, particularly in the UK and beyond, to be a better partner for talent in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Sam, for a really thought-provoking presentation. And I think a lot of people are going to be going away and really thinking about ditching the script and doing something quite innovative. I think we've got time for a couple of questions. So we've got one here. How do you find candidates with the innovative spirit that can enhance the culture of innovation? And what about inside our companies? How do we surface people who are in the companies that have the innovation gene in their DNA?
It's a great question, and I think if I had the answer to that, I'd be extraordinarily well off. But I think there are some foundational elements, and Michael spoke a little bit earlier about mobilising his own organisation with their ideas, change champion groups, steering committees. you know, there are organisations that are mobilising and organising themselves into groups that are taking ownership of elements of the cultural DNA. Those people rise to the top because they have a genuine interest. But what you do have to do is shake the tree somewhat to give them the energy and say, we want your ideas. We are empowering you to be a part of this story. So there are some initiatives that you can execute to mobilise and self-organise those groups of people. But the first thing is to talk about it. You know, ask people, who are we? Ask people across all parts of your organisation, because the who are we may mean one thing to a finance organisation in comparison to the HR group, in comparison to a procurement group or a logistics group or an administrative service. It also takes on a different view from a country by country perspective. So finding out that enterprise who are we has to be a global story or a regional story, and ask the questions. And don't be afraid to ask challenging questions too. So I would say ask your own business today. The people who have got something to say are often those with a level of passion that you'll get on the balls of their feet or sitting and leaning into the conversation, but empower them to be able to share their stories, capture those stories, and then get on to the self-organisation of getting out there and sharing them in ways that mean something and are meaningful to your business.
Thank you, Sam. And I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. I hope you found the session useful. I personally found it so insightful to hear from Michael and Sam and to hear them take us through their journey. So thank you both so much. I'd also like to thank our lead partner, KellyOCG, for sponsoring this session. The webinar recording, for those who have asked, will be available in the events section of the Business Culture Awards website from tomorrow, and we'll also email you all a link. I also wanted to remind you that we're open for award entries from the 2nd of April, and we're also running face-to-face events or webinars every month, so please do join us for those. Again, all the information is on the website at businesscultureawards.com. So thanks, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.